In this video, we're going to learn how to make me, Koromon. Hello everybody, my name is Tommy. I'm a mask and puppet maker, and in this video, you're going to learn how to make Koromon, this adorable in-training Digimon. Okay, so in this video, we are going to be making a Koromon, an in-training Digimon. It's very cute and very easy, so all you need to do is make a newspaper ball. A large newspaper ball, just make it kind of more like an egg, like a flat newspaper ball. So let's do that. Crumble newspaper into a ball. My birds say hi. And we kind of want to have a little bit of a muzzle, and this will be it right here. Yeah, now we're going to put a muzzle kind of on here. So crumble, make him kind of a small muzzle here so we know where to put the mouth. And you're going to put it right where you want the mouth to be, so it doesn't have to be a big one. Does not have to be, thank you Chico, doesn't have to be big. The joy of working with birds and trying to explain something on camera. But they always sing when I work. It's like having two cheerleaders watching you work. They are watching me very carefully. They're curious. They want to know what I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing here. There we go. That'll work for Koromon, but we also need to have a place to put the eyes. This will work for now. Okay. Alright. That's all you need, really. Well, we still have to make the ears, but I'm going to use felt for that. Yeah, the ears should be felt. Okay, let's go ahead and make the eyes. Okay, so we're going to make the eyes. We're going to cut out two large circles. We need something round. So trace over something round. And trace over the inside of this tape here. We're going to need two of them. Cut them out. Just remember, scissors are very sharp and pointy. Always cut away from yourself. That includes your fingers. Okay, and this Digimon also has 6 teeth. I need to cut out some tiny little triangles. So yeah, like about that. Alright, that's it. Now all we gotta do is cover it in paper mache and we'll go from there.
That was easy.
Alright, so let's get this Digimon all covered up. So what you need to mix 1 part white glue and 1 part water. I do realize that you can use flour and water with a little salt. That apparently works just as good. I've yet to try that, but you can do it either way. I used the white glue. So take your paintbrush and dip it into your mixture, whatever you use. Thank you, Chico. Can I? Oh, that's Bella. Bella's the one squawks. So cover up the surface area. Okay, so now you're going to want to cover it up with toilet paper or tissue paper. I'm using toilet paper. Alternatively, if you don't have toilet paper, you can soak newspaper strips and cover up your newspaper with that instead. Works just as good. Okay, so once you have it covered with tissue or toilet paper, brush glue on top of it until it's wet. Then put more toilet paper on top. Keep doing this until you have 4 or 5 layers. Again, you can use newspaper strips if you want. Now you'll need a sheet of cardboard. We're gonna make the bottom nice and flat because this doesn't look so good. So we're gonna cut this out. And we're gonna remove all the newspaper. And still nice and solid, keeps its shape. Alright, we need to trace around the bottom on a sheet of cardboard. Cut this out, what we just traced around here. I'm actually going to use scissors. And we're going to glue this on the bottom. Okay, we're going to cover the bottom with paper mache. I'm just going to fill in this little gap here. Notice that I'm using newspaper strips? Works good, people. Oh my gosh, everybody, look at this. My room magically changed. That's incredible. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to attach the eyes. These eyes are actually really small. They need to be a lot bigger. But we'll take care of that once they are on. But first off, we need to locate exactly where the center of the head is going to be. I'm just going to mark it here. And the mouth will be cut out. So now what we are going to do is we are going to glue the eyes on. But just remember your gloves because hot glue is, well, hot. Common sense there, really. Okay, so those are the eyes. Not that cute right now, but don't worry, that will change. Kind of creepy. So, yeah. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is I want to cut the mouth out. So, we need to just cut this out. And because this is a puppet, the mouth actually needs to come down quite a ways. Now we're going to cut this out. Just be careful when you're doing that. He's happy. Kind of looks like Pac-Man. Waka waka waka. Oh, he's gonna eat you. He's gonna eat you. Nom 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 nom. Okay, don't worry. Okay, so now what we are going to, just gonna get all this excess off. See, I want to glue the teeth on. Yes, 4 teeth on the roof of his mouth. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. And now the next thing that we want to do is we want, and we want to just cover up the eyes so that it has a nice flow. But you got to remember to keep this kind of detail on the eyes, because we can always paint that on. That's not a big deal. There. Now it has a nice flow with the eyes. You just want to and plus you are making it bigger because he actually has very large eyes. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to add some cheeks here. I'm just going to scrunch it onto the bottom sides. Okay, so now it is time to make the bottom jaw. So we just need to take some newspaper. And we need to make it just slightly smaller than this. So crumble it into the shape of the bottom jaw here. You want it preferably the size of the bottom that we just cut there. Now to make the tongue, we need to make a large tongue that takes up the entire bottom jaw. And that should do, so we're just going to cover that up. Okay, so for the next part, you will need some pink fabric. So we are making the ears. And you will need some fabric glue or a sewing machine if you have one. Sewing machine will always look nice and will last a lot longer than this stuff. Okay, so I don't need a whole bunch of it. I'd say about right up to here. So yeah, I guess I'll just unravel all of it. You'll also need something to stuff it with. So I have some batting here. This is quilt batting. Definitely don't need that much. You don't want to cut single sheets. You want to cut them double, so because we are going to be stuffing them. We're going to go 20 inches. Be careful when you're using knives, okay? Okay, just like that. Okay, so before we start cutting the fabric here, I actually want to just trace what I want to cut out first, so that way we have a template. Koromon's ears are ribbon shaped, and he has two of them. So it starts off, it's like we're gonna taper it. Okay, so we could trace around this, or you can just cut around it very carefully. Alright, I got some batting here. And we will need to, so we're going to follow the same idea. Except we are going to want to go just a little bit ever so smaller, because we're turning it inside out, and that means we're going to have less material to work with. So this can be rather tricky. So the next thing that we need to do, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim it down just a little bit. Having one of these kind of cutters are really handy for this kind of work. Okay. There you go, you got your batting cut out, and now you have this. So we're going to put this aside, and we're going to get right down to gluing immediately. Very carefully, and I mean very carefully, glue the corners, and I mean just the edges, or so if you have a sewing machine, use it. I'm just using fabric glue. Now, just a word on fabric glue. There is a lot of fumes coming out of this thing, so you want to make sure you have good ventilation for this. Probably should be wearing gloves. Let's see. Contact may irritate eyes. Do not smoke. Well, duh. Don't smoke. Oh my goodness. Do not get an eye. Use ventilated area. Does not say anything about skin irritation here. You might want to wear gloves for this. I would recommend it, but there's no skin irritation label on here. And just keep away from flames or sparks and stuff. Okay, so I already glued the other one. So what you want to do is you want to take your batting, and now we are going to turn it inside out with the batting underneath. So this is going to can be a little bit tricky, but if you just work with it, it'll eventually turn itself inside out, and the stuffing will be inside. Oh, the batting, I mean. And you won't be able to see all the cut marks and everything. It's just going to look quite professional. Now, don't want the... It's easy to get the batting to go in too far. Don't want that, so I'm just gonna pull on. There we go. Now we're making progress. So there, you should have something that looks like this. So that looks a lot nicer than this, if you ask me. Or you can have it like this if you want. You don't even need to have the batting, but it's gonna look a lot better. It really will. That is up to you. So just do the same thing to the other side here. That looks nice. That's not so flat. And yeah, not all those ugly cut marks that you have and everything, that's all tucked underneath. So that's invisible. So you look like a pro. So there you go. So this, you have Koromon's ears. Okay, so we're just gonna trim this off a bit more. So we're gonna take some cardboard, and we're gonna close this off. We're gonna glue it from the inside so that we can install the puppet jaw properly. This bottom jaw is going to be a lot better if we just copied this. So just trace and cut. Just a little bit smaller. We're going to close off the extra space that we have. So we're just going to take this. Gonna trace the top, and this is where we want to close it off. I'm gonna leave a little room, but yeah. We're gonna glue this on right where I drew that line. You can leave just a little bit of room for the bottom jaw. And we're gonna cover this up with paper mache. Okay, and we're going to trim off the overhang. So now we're going to take this and we are going to trace. And we're going to trim it. Or you can just use this. And we're going to take a marker, trace around it. We're going to trim exactly where we traced. But we do have the right shape now. You can either choose to keep this piece or just use that. But we do have the right shape. Now I want to draw the eye rings. Draw a triangle, little tiny triangle. Right where the eyes are, because Digimon have these special eye features. Make sure that they're parallel to each other. There we go. Now we're gonna just work on that. I kind of want to cut that out a little bit. I'm actually probably going to use the Dremel for this part. So we're just going to work on closing this off. We'll keep the smile though. Starting to look like a Digimon now. Good. Take some newspaper. Just fill in this corner. So this is what it should look like. I just closed it off. That's better. Yep, I can live with this. So we're just going to cover this with paper mache. And then cover this with paper mache. Okay, so now we are going to work on the bottom jaw. So we are going to cut out the newspaper and we're going to take it out and put the tongue in. So it should look like a cup, sort of. And it looks like a half moon. Okay, so something like that. I'm going to put this in here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that piece of cardboard inside. Okay, so now for the tongue here. So I'm going to glue that right in the middle. So I'm probably going to spread it out just a little bit further. So now I'm going to carve down the eye rings here. You can use sandpaper if you want, or a knife. I'm going to be using the router tool, because it works better. Okay, so now we are going to glue the teeth back on. And we're going to glue it onto the bottom jaw. Just on the side like that. You want it to just... Okay, you can just come out a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to cover the teeth with paper mache. Alright, now we're going to install the lever. We're going to take your paint mixing stick. These things are completely free at any paint store. And we're going to set it in the center, right between the teeth. Then we're going to trace. And we're going to cut that out. Now we're going to cut an opening at the back so that we can slide the paint mixing stick through. Okay, so we're going to glue the paint mixing stick at the back here. And you should have this. Pushing down on the back of the lever will make Koromon talk. Alright, so let's start painting. So I should mention that before we start painting, I'm going to mix the white and a little bit of pink, and it should match the fabric that we use to make the ears. This is very important. Alright, so we're going to glue the ears on. And there you have it, everybody. Koromon. Pretty easy to make. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Until the next time.